All right, so welcome to another one for Al Cuerpo Boxing, which means to the body. So let's get with it. Let's talk some boxing. So we are now in the aftermath of Crawford versus Madrimov, which was a great bout last weekend. And so the question now still stands. Can Terence Crawford beat Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds? Many are saying, that being industry, fans, other channels, I guess general perspective, now that we've seen Crawford at 154 pounds with 10-ounce gloves, and by the way, in my previous uploads, I was talking about all these particular details, but now seeing Crawford at 154 pounds with the 10-ounce gloves, fighting a bigger guy, that fighting a guy like Canelo Alvarez, who is at his peak performance at 168 pounds, is probably now not a realistic fight. And not even, I would say, of interest to the guy that was pushing it, which was this Turkey Al-Sheikh guy. And so now a lot of fans are saying that the fight doesn't make sense. Some fans are even saying that Terence Crawford, with his performance, could still beat Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds. But let's talk about some reality here, opposed to emotion or feelings about which fighter you like the most. All right. And yes, you see a lot of comments of saying, people saying, well, Madrimov and Canelo are two different fighters, two different styles. And so they still think that Terence Crawford would have a good fight with Canelo Alvarez. And by the way, Canelo Alvarez just made some recent statements that I do agree with, in that it possibly could be that way, in that maybe Terence Crawford would be more on his back foot against Canelo, unlike the Madrimov fight, which was a very nice strategic, tactical chess match fight between the two. I thought both bouts were great. In my previous uploads, I had stated that Crawford was going to win by unanimous decision, and a lot of other panels were saying, no, Crawford's going to stop Madrimov, or some were saying that Madrimov was going to beat Crawford, and I literally said that Joel Diaz's game plan, as he did with Bivol, they might fight Crawford conservatively. I said this conservatively, all right? Because as you know, Madrimov didn't really press the gas in this fight. Okay, he did a great job resetting and have Crawford think a lot about not to make mistakes, and good to Crawford. That's Crawford was just playing his game. Okay, so regardless of Madrimov being the defending champion and, just defending his belt, worst case scenario, guys, worst case scenario would have been a draw. But I still had Crawford up by 2 rounds, maybe even more, but Madrimov could have done a bit more. Madrimov had the better CompuBox, if you will, but Crawford, stylistically, I think aesthetically for the judges, had the better combinations, had the more energy in the fight, and that's what helped him, win those rounds. And Madrimov didn't really respond in those counter attacks or combination attacks, if you will. So, with all that being said, though, given that Madrimov was able to land on Terence Crawford's button on the nose, on the chin, straight forward with his right cross several times, kind of the same way Oscar Valdez did to Shakur Stevenson with those surprise attacks. It's a different ball game when you go to 168 pounds, facing probably one of the strongest punchers in boxing, if not one, or 2 or 3, whatever. Without a doubt, nobody's going to argue or debate that Canelo Alvarez is not one of the strongest punchers in the game. Okay, and then aside from being one of the best counter punchers in the game with his ring IQ. So I think, as I said before, as Crawford, by the way, didn't look that fast as he did as 147 or 140, right? I said that. As you acclimate going up, you're going to sacrifice, right? People knew that, even though they don't want to admit it, but he did. Let's say he dropped about 5%. I said 5%, 2% maybe. And then, of course, you've got the gloves, guys. You're going 10-ounce gloves. They're going to weigh just slightly different. For those of you that box, know, man, 16 to 14, 12, 10, 8, it's different. You hit faster with the lower you go, obviously. And even the thudding effect is going to make a difference. All right? I mean, you could say going with smaller gloves is going to sting more, might have a more physical impact on contact, right? Just physically, right? But at the same time, when you have bigger gloves, more padding, there's more pressure, there's more force generating throughout the body or throughout that area. Okay. So for example, getting punched on the chin with 8 ounce is going to be different than getting punched on the chin with 10 ounce. That with being more momentum of energy going towards the brain, or if you want to, or let's just say any part of the body, there's a bigger area when there's more padding. All right. So there's a nice relation, a nice consistency in the gloves, the overall weight. So in my theory, if Crawford were taking the shots from Canelo as he did with Madrimov, I think it would be like another Jermall Charlo fight. I think Crawford wouldn't engage as much. People say that Terence Crawford would go out on his shield, but I don't think so. It's probably not a good idea to do that, actually. Boxing is a serious sport. There's dangers in it. Terence Crawford himself has specifically pointed out those type of dangers, that relating to CT, brain damage. He doesn't want that kind of stuff. He's a family guy. He has like 5 kids, guys. He has 5 kids. When the heat is running in that fight and Canelo is really pressing the attack, I guarantee you Crawford is going to do his best to stay safe. And as Canelo's saying, he doesn't want to fight that type of fighter who's going to be on his, engagement to be on the back foot and run away. And we've never seen Crawford go 12 rounds or rounds on the back foot fleeing while at the same time counterattacking with a guy as big as Canelo Alvarez. Guys, you guys got to put the pieces together here. Okay. And so anyways, Turki Al-Sheikh has probably been advised. Maybe he sees that. I don't really give Turki Al-Sheikh that much credit in boxing, to be honest. I think, I have my opinions on that, but he said that he doesn't want to make the fight now between Crawford and Canelo. Was it the projection of the stadium? Some are saying that there was a lot of false news and that it was being packed or sold and there were still a lot of seats available in the arena. Some people are not even liking the event, saying it was too long, with the Eminem performance. A lot of people just didn't really like it. And then, of course, as I was saying in my other videos, Turki Al-Sheikh's, attitude towards Canelo Alvarez is just very odd. It's counterproductive, and it just doesn't make any sense. If you're trying to promote the Riyadh season logo on the biggest fighters or the biggest athletes in North America, why the fuck are you going against Canelo Alvarez? It doesn't make any sense. You're trying to do this for your country, not for boxing in general, So there's just some there's some inconsistencies and I guess discrepancies from Turkey in the game. But should Terence Crawford, again, now he's going to go up to 168 pounds. Guys, he's now going to sacrifice maybe another 10% in speed. Speed, and what I've been telling people, Canelo has seen speed from Munguia, Caleb Plant, Bevo at 175 pounds. Okay. So I'm going to go against the ladder, but Crawford, we could say at 154 pounds, his pop wasn't as there, right? Maybe Madrimov has a great chin, a big body. Okay, so then how does that translate with Canelo Alvarez, who's bigger than Madrimov, who is known to have a super granite chin, okay? Crawford's power, it's not going to move up in weight given this last performance, in my opinion. Or rather, maybe it's there, but is Crawford really going to commit to the power punches that make a difference? Because now that Crawford needs to plant more on his feet to get real good power shots on Canelo, guess what? We know what's going to happen. We know what's on Terence Crawford's radar, state of mind in those moments. He knows Canelo can counter. So it's going to be a lot difficult. So at best, I think you would probably see a lot of amazing shots from Crawford, but they're not going to do any damages to Canelo Alvarez as he continues to press forward. And when that deep pressure hits you, you're doing more heavy breathing. The stamina starts to change, guys. I know boxing. I've been doing boxing for years. I've gained weight. I've lost weight. I've done exercises where you try to mimic, let's say even going to 8 rounds, when you want to put yourself into that situation and you see how hard it is to have that type of endurance and stamina going, okay? And on top of that, you're getting damage at the same time, all right? So if Crawford versus Canelo were to happen, though, at 168 pounds, that would be great for boxing. I think it would be like a a revival of, Sugar Ray Leonard when he fought Donnie Lalonde. Okay, maybe not the best comparison as far as, the level of eliteness we're trying to compare, right? Because obviously Lalonde is not Canelo Alvarez. And you could say Crawford is not Sugar Ray Leonard. It's different, guys. It's different. So anyways, I think if Terence Crawford fights Canelo Alvarez, I think it will be the same thing as the Amir Khan bout. Who knows? Maybe Canelo Alvarez might have some compassion and go light, right? They're saying Canelo Alvarez went light on Jaime Munguia. So if he went light on Jaime Munguia's type of physique, who Munguia is significantly bigger than Terence Crawford, why wouldn't Canelo do that to Crawford? I mean, there would need to be some sort of animosity from Canelo's, and if you really wanted to, hurt Crawford, or who knows, maybe Canelo doesn't really have to do a super exertion of a punch to really knock out Terence Crawford at 168 pounds, right? So anyways, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys still want Crawford versus Canelo? Is it even still possible? Does Turki Al-Sheikh really want to gamble on this type of event? Let me know what you're in your comments, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.